Hi guys, happy Friday. Today is Friday, May 15th, 2020. We are going to review how we can learn about history using primary and secondary sources. So we learned about primary and secondary sources. So I have a different looking chart to just kind of better describe because it can be confusing. Okay, so a primary source is a description of an event, okay, from someone who was there to experience it. They were there. And some of the examples of those are like diaries or journals. When you write in your journal, you were there when you're talking about an event, about something that happened, or say you're writing about your vacation, or you're writing about when you went to go have pizza, or you are writing about when you went to the water park or when you went to the park. Maybe you're writing about a sleepover or when you went over to your cousin's house to play. You were there, right? And if you're writing about it, you were there, so that would be considered a primary source because you were there. Speeches, like can we think of a really important speech that a very important man who did a lot of good for our country? Martin Luther King Jr., right? He wrote a speech. He wrote that he was there. So that is another example of a primary source. We talked about photographs or even videos that you might be able to record with your phone, or way back in some of our days, we had actual video cameras that we carried around and we recorded videos. If we were there to experience what we're recording, then that's a primary source, okay? So now let's talk about primary. They can also be called secondhand accounts or secondary sources right here, okay? So it's based on research, or it's told by someone who was not there to see it happen. So when we look at textbooks and they tell us we're learning about things that happened in history, they weren't there when it happened. They're just writing about it. Also, like a biography. Many times we read biographies about people in the past, like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., all those people in the past from long ago in our history. The people who wrote those, they weren't there when George Washington was alive. They weren't there when Martin Luther King. They weren't there, not so much when they were alive. They weren't there whatever event or whatever they're talking about, they weren't actually there to see it happen. They have researched it and they have learned about it, and they're writing about it. Informational books that we learn that teach us things, okay? People were not there when those things happened, but they're teaching us about those things. So something to ask yourself when we're trying to figure out primary or secondary sources is, was the person telling about the event, were they at the event? Were they there? If the answer is no, they were not there, then they would fall under secondary sources. If they're just talking and telling about it because they did some research and found out about these things, then that would be a secondary resource. If they were there at the event to experience it, then that would be a primary source, right? Okay, so I wanted to share with you a secondary source that I used to use when I was your age and older. They're called encyclopedias, and this is what encyclopedias look like. Way before there was internet, and way before we could go and open up a laptop or a Chromebook or an iPad, some type of tablet, and search up things, we use these books right here, and these are called encyclopedias. And I bet you if you ask mom or dad about encyclopedias, they know about these, and they may have used these back when they were younger and they were in school. Maybe they may even have some that they've kept they have kept maybe boxed up somewhere. I remember we used to have them. We don't have them anymore. My mom didn't keep them. So let's read about a little bit about what an encyclopedia is. And we're going to go right here. The title of this book is Find the Facts with Encyclopedias. That is a really long word. Look, encyclopedias. Okay, this is by Anna Truesdale. Find the Facts with Encyclopedias. What is an encyclopedia? Have you ever wondered why a frog croaks? Do you know how a plane flies? Has your teacher ever asked you to find information about another country? Do you want to learn more about a person who lived a long time ago? All of this and much more can be found in an encyclopedia. Sometimes you want to use many sources to find a lot of information. Researchers call this in-depth information. Sometimes you just want one source that explains something without going in depth. This is just called like an overview. Encyclopedias are books that contain overviews on many topics. An overview, guys, in an encyclopedia are called articles. So encyclopedia is a book with many articles on different topics, okay? It's a great place to start to learn about a topic that is brand new to you, okay? So, go on one more page. Most encyclopedias have information about every important topic that you can think of. Articles on people or places, events, and things can be found in an encyclopedia. Some encyclopedias are only about one subject, maybe just about animals. Some encyclopedias might just be about important people in history. Okay? Each article in an encyclopedia is written by an expert. Okay? So an expert is a person who knows a lot about that subject or topic. And then another person checks the facts in the article to make sure that it's correct. Okay? It takes a lot of people to write an encyclopedia. We don't want a book published, an encyclopedia published with wrong information. So that's why it's important that it's checked. And these are experts that are writing about these topics. Now, one popular online encyclopedia, it's something that you can pull up on the internet. It's called Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a type of website, and it's called a wiki, W-I-K-I. And the only thing about this one is that anyone can write part of an article, okay? So what's wrong? What can be a problem with that is that some of these people might not be experts, okay? They might not, the information that you find on Wikipedia might not be true. So it's really better to check the information you get from Wiki or Wikipedia, because you want to make sure that whatever you're reading is correct information. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to share with you about also my past and some secondary sources that I used to use when I was your age, and they look like this. I wish I would have saved one so that I could show you. That would be something great to have, but I don't know. Maybe ask mom or dad, maybe grandpa, do you guys have encyclopedias? And it would be fun if they do to go through it and see how when we were back in school and we had to research topics, things that we didn't know a lot about, how we had to do our research. We had to open up those books and read those books to find that information, where now we have so many different places on the internet that we can look up information, but it's always important that you make sure that wherever you're getting the information, that it's true information, because like I said, the Wikipedia is a place you can go to, but that information isn't always correct. It isn't always true. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this week in social studies, and I hope you enjoyed looking back through old photographs and learning about those old photographs. And guys, have a great Friday and a great weekend. I will see you next week. Goodbye, guys. Have a great Friday. Bye-bye.